So I pulled together a couple of the assets that I thought would make interesting weapons for the game I'm working on. I did already like test and set some of these up in advance just so that I could verify my process. So right now, what I want to do is set up these bows. We have three bow variants. There's the recurve bow over here. There's the long bow, and then there's the compound bow. We have a bunch of different melee weapons. Yeah, so we haven't actually set any melee weapons up yet, so this is going to be interesting. And then I have some projectile weapons is the best way for me to put it. So like you have your guns, right, and then you have your nail drivers or your nail guns. You have this interesting like saw looking launcher, and then you have this harpoon gun, and you have this spear gun over here. I thought these would make some pretty interesting choices for weapons. So I did go ahead and also set up the scene with like some target practice, literally, and let me actually show you something. So for these, I set up the targets with a damageable and stats, so that they could like have health and be like things you can kind of like shoot at using the Malbur system. I did set them to immune so they don't die, even though I don't even know what would happen if they do die. But they'll take damage, but they just won't like it won't actually deduct from the stats. And the way I figured out that you can detect the damage is over in the characters. I think it's under internal components, combat. Where was it? Maybe it was interactions, actually. Nope, not interactions. It was one of these. Maybe it was attack triggers. Nope, not that. It was one of these. It wasn't log. Oh, enemy search health. There it is. Okay. So this right here is basically a collider, a trigger collider, I should say. So whatever's inside here will be the like this is like the range that the player can kind of detect like what the enemy health bar looks like. So I am going to increase it to like say 20. Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, so now if I hit play, okay, and grab one of these bows, so you can see like I can immediately see the well, let me turn off the audio. I can immediately I cannot speak. I can immediately see the health data. So when I hit, you can see like the damage numbers and stuff like that. And this is just for my peace of mind, so that I know that the weapons are actually causing damage to things. And another thing is like you'll notice my mouse is appearing over the editor, which can be kind of annoying, and I can accidentally like drag and drop things. So I did add a little convenient script, which I will insert into the scene. We'll just call it cursor lock. And this is just like a really short script that lets me just lock the cursor in the game mode, so that when I'm actually in game mode, if I click anywhere in here in the game view, excuse me, the cursor will disappear and I won't accidentally click something. And if I hit escape, then I'll actually see it. So this will allow me to not accidentally move something around while I'm in the game view. So okay, let's go ahead and start with these bows. I'm going to start with the recurve, and the best way that I figured I can do this, based on the tests that I've done, is if I go to bow collectible and I just duplicate this down. Where'd it go? It's over here. I'm going to move it over here, and we'll go ahead and unpack this. So actually, tell you what, I'm going to move it down to where this bow is. So this is the recurve bow. So we'll move the bow down here, sort of, and I'm going to unpack it like that. And I'm going to parent the recurve bow to that collectible. I said I'm going to parent it, there we go, to that. And I'm going to reset its transform, like so. And now what I'll do, I'm going to rename this to recurve bow collectible. Cool. Let me just move this up a bit so we can see it. So orientation is going to be slightly different because, as you can see, mine is vertical, whereas the Malbur's one is horizontal, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and start setting up the main pieces of this. So I think under bow, I'll tell you what, first things first, let's generate a new ID. I'll go to bow, and I'm going to assign a new knot. So this one, I think the knot is going to be under somewhere over here. Okay, string joint. So this is, I don't know why Cinti has the knot all the way up here. I guess, is that accurate? I don't know. Maybe it is. So these are Cinti bows, and they determine that that's where they want to have the bow knot. So that's where we're going to put it. So there's our bow knot. We're going to recalculate its default position, and these upper chains, I'm going to clear them out. So actually, I'll keep them like that. But what I'll do is, oh, I should say, I did notice an issue when I was trying this the first time. So in Malber's bow, he has, well, they have it set up so that it's, you have like just two things in the chain. But in the Cinti bow, it's like a bunch of things in the chain, right? So you have like the entire part of the bow is rigged. These are just the different like bones in the bow. So I did actually try this already and I had like issues. So like if I go to upper arm 1, I put that there, and I go to upper arm 2 and I put that there, and I go to lower arm 1, put that there, and lower arm 2 and put that there. I am going to save this real quick. And then if I store the position, I can actually test this using the bow tension over here. This is just like to verify how the bow bends. And you'll see that when I test it, it starts bending wrong. And that's because of the axes, right? So I had to tinker around with it a little bit, but I found that for these bows, if I do no, actually, I think it was a negative Y, and it was literally both negative Ys, I think. No, maybe not. Was it positive Y? So confusing. Okay. Oh, no, I'll tell you what it was. So one of the bow, like, here, let me look at it straight on. So you'll see when I bend it, it's like not bending right. If I change it to negative Y for the lower one, that one bends back right, but the top one doesn't. They both have to be negative Y for some reason, but you'll see that when they bend, for some reason the bottom one is always bending to the side, and I think there's like a twist in the in that bone's rotation, which I think is a bug on Cinti's part. I don't feel like fixing it, but what I found is a good solution is I can actually start the upper chain and the lower chain from the second, or I can start it from the second one and end at the third one for both the upper and the lower, like that. Recalculate that, and now when I bend them, they don't have that sideways twist, but they still have that backwards twist, which I think is pretty good, or that back bend, I should say. I don't know if I can add more bones. I haven't tried this yet. Like, I genuinely haven't tried it yet, so we can go ahead and test it out real quick and see what happens. I don't think it'll work because I think that it's made for only 2. Oh, look at that. That looks so clean. Okay. Yeah. So I think I'm going to try it with 3 bones. We'll see how it works. But basically when the player draws the arrow back, it'll bend backwards like so, which is pretty cool. So, okay, I'll keep it with 3 strings for with 3 bones for now. We'll see if it works. So under shootable, I just need to change the bow knot over here. We'll put it under string joint like so. And I think that is pretty much it for this one. I'll be changing the damage values for everything later on. But for now, I think this is fine. So, oh, you know what? No, it's not fine yet. So under here, because I rotated at 90 degrees, I also need to change the rotation here, which is a lesson I learned from the slingshot. And I need to change the rotation of the holster because it's also going to be rotated 90 degrees. So that should be good. Now what I'll do is I do want, so when the player draws the arrow point is not going to be here. It should be over here. So I already have my grid snapping set up, and I'm just going to move this closer to there. Maybe I'll actually move it up here so that it's like kind of aligned with that little little gap. I think that makes sense, right? And you know what? I think what'll also make sense, whoops. I think what'll also make sense is if I line it up with the string joint, right? So the string joint is at that. So actually here's what I'll do. Well, I don't know. I actually don't know if these are supposed to be lined up. I guess we'll find out. I'm not going to line them up right now. Let me just put all this under the item. Yes, change children. I'm going to unpack this real quick. And I want to know, should I remove the animator? I think I should, right? Yeah, I think I should remove the animator. Let's get rid of it. Remove the component. Cool. And now, oh, wait, one more thing. So On the recurve bow, we have the mesh. So it does have like other meshes. This is the one that I care about though. So what I'm going to do is add a box collider, and I'm going to copy these values, copy component, and I'm going to paste them here at the parents collider like that. And then I'm going to, because this is the collider that's going to allow me to detect the pickable item. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to remove the box collider. I just wanted those values. Okay. And I think now I can go back here, and now I think I can actually get rid of the bow, like the source bow, and I can hit save. And let's go ahead and just test this out real quick, make sure it works. So, oh, wrong one. So we come here, we can pick up the bow. Cool. Looks kind of weird in my hands. There we go. So it's in the holster correctly. Okay. Yeah, I do like the size actually. And then we can aim and we can fire. And let me actually do this because I noticed there's an issue right off the bat. So let me go to my player, go to player input and set this to toggle because I want to see the, I don't want to hit Control Shift P while I'm aiming and lose the arrow. For some reason, the arrow sometimes despawns when you pause while you're aiming. I don't know what that's about. But so I come here and now let's go to the scene view. So you see that when I'm holding the arrow, let me turn off the gizmos. It's kind of hard to see things. Okay, so when I'm holding the arrow is huge and it's going all the way back into my arm. Jeez, my skinning for my wrists is so bad. Oh God, I need to fix that. A problem for later. But you'll see that the arrow is like way too big and it's like going all the way into my arm. I tinkered around with it, and what I found out is that you'll see that this one back here is a little bit smaller. What I found out is that the arrow is being scaled relative to the size of the bow, and I think it's because it's being childed or being parented by the bow. So when I was scaling this one down to like 0.67, that's when the arrow actually that's when the arrow's size corresponded with the bow. But that's not the fix that I want because I actually do like the size of the bow as it is right now. And actually, while we're here, let me aim so that I can see what the bend looks like. Oh, that looks so nice. Yeah, look at that bend. You see that? Isn't that cool? So here, we'll fire. So nice. All right. So what we'll do is I'm actually going to fix this problem by not by fixing that arrow, but rather I'm going to be using a specific arrow for that bow. So what I was thinking, I still haven't like finalized my decision on how I'm going to be implementing the arrow system. I don't think I want to have configurable arrows. I think I'd rather, because that's just honestly too complicated. So I figured what I'd rather do is just have each bow have its own like arrow type. So like the recurve bow, it has this like, little naturey look to it, like someone took a branch off a tree and just turned it into a bow. So I figured it would go well with the primitive bow, and it'll also make sense narratively. The long bow, I figured it looked cool with the spear-like arrows, those like old medieval style arrows. And then for the compound bow, I thought it would look cool with the because the compound bow is like made out of like salvage like bicycle equipment, which I think is awesome. I'll probably use the arrow that looks like it was also like kind of like a makeshift arrow that was built out of scrap. So yeah, so with that being said, let's see how I want to do this. So I think I can bring in the arrow prefab. Where is it? And dang it. Okay, there it is. So sort of like what I did with the slingshot projectile, I'm going to also be making, an arrow projectile for the arrow. So, or for each one of these arrows. So here's how we'll do it. Let me move this up to, this scene is getting out of hand. Where was it? There we go. So what I'm going to do is grab this primitive arrow. I'm going to parent it to that arrow prefab. I'm going to actually unpack this completely. And I'm going to unpack the arrow mesh completely, like so. Let's reset the transform here, like that. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll give this a rotation of -90. Oh, wrong side, 90. There we go. And I think the way it works is it's based on, was it based on the distance from here? I think it was based on the distance from there. So let's move this back like to there, sort of. I'm going to fix this in a second because once I test it, I'll see what the issue that arises from this is. Okay. So we'll get rid of this mesh like that. And oh, wait, actually, before I do that, let's go here and make sure that there's nothing referencing it. I don't think there is. Arrow, because I think the mesh is literally just like a visible thing. It's not actually, it doesn't actually serve any purpose beyond that, I think. Okay, cool. Trail, it's the parent. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this mesh. Actually, I'm just going to hide it. I'll explain why in a second. Or maybe I won't. I'll probably forget before I explain it. Change this to item. Cool. And we'll just call this primitive arrow primitive, like that. Cool. And I'm going to then create a under asset overrides, malbers, was it prefabs, weapons, projectiles? Yeah, okay. So here, what I'll do is I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call it arrow primitive equipped, like that. Cool. I'm going to reset this transform to that. And then I'm going to make it a prefab. And then I'm going to define it as the prefab for this variable. I'm going to change this to current arrow equipped on the bow, like that. And let's see. So now under recurve bow, rather than using, where is it? Shootable. Yeah. Rather than using arrow equipped, we're going to use, wrong one. We're going to use arrow primitive equipped, like so. Now here's the other thing that I didn't mention in the last one. It's a problem that I fixed in, the slingshot. Well, actually, let me use this first, then I'll show you. So let me go ahead and save this real quick. Did I remove the arrow primitive from the scene? No, it's right there. Let me delete this from the scene. We don't need it anymore. Like so. Save. And then I'll hit play. Okay. So when I come here and I pick up the bow and I aim, the arrow's not showing up. What the heck? That's weird. Hold up. Where's the arrow? There's something in my hands. What's that? Wait, did I? Oh my God. I thought I put the slingshot projectile. Okay. That was me. That was my bad. I literally thought I didn't do that and then I did it anyways. Wait, what? Arrow primitive equipped. Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, that's what it, oh, okay. I put the wrong thing. Okay. Sorry. Let's fix that. So yeah. Whoops. Oh gosh. Okay. So that's embarrassing. So now we'll come here and we'll paste that there. Current projectile comes in the slingshot. Cool. This one should actually be, oh geez. Current, what did we call it? Current arrow equipped on the bow. Okay. And whoops, this was, oh gosh, this was supposed to be that. Well, that explains everything. God, that was it's always something. Okay. So now let's just make sure that's the right one. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Whoopsie daisy. All right. Let's try that again. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Cool. And we'll grab the bow. All right. We'll aim. And let me look at the character real quick. Cool. So what I'm going to do is we'll go to arrow primitive. There it is. All right. And I'm going to slide this down a little bit. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoop. Well, let's try that again. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll move it up until it's where I want it to be, like so. Yeah, I think that's fine. It's a little bit high. I wonder why that's the case. Oh, you know why? It's high because of where it's knotted. Oh, okay. So if I come here, oh gosh. If I come here and I move it down a little bit, then it'll be in the right spot. So I actually need to move the knot slightly down too. Okay, that's fine. Or sorry, not the knot, the arrow position. I need to move it down by 1. But that's a good position, I think. So let me just look at the fingers again. Okay. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's not really visible from Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So you can see her eyeballs in her head. So let's store the position. I'm just gonna copy these values. Copy position like that. And oh man, you know what? Dang it. What I should have copied was just the Z. Cause yeah, it was just supposed to be the Z because the knot is gonna or the arrow position is gonna fix the Y. Okay. So let's go to the recurve bow collectible and let's look at the arrow point. And we said we'd move this down by 1 like that. Okay. And then under the recurve bow, we're going to go here. Okay, that's fine. And we said under the arrow, so arrow primitive, we're going to move this down to, oh, geez. Okay, maybe not. Wait a minute. That's weird. Yeah, it's so weird. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. What the heck? All right. We'll just say like 5. Why is it not snapping? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We'll save this. Yeah, I should have counted the snaps. We'll try that again. All right. Hit play. Let me look at the character. Okay, so I think the height is fine now. I just need to move it forward a little bit. So I think it was. Is that the right thing? Yeah. So I think it was supposed to be. Wait a minute. Oh, that's the problem. I was supposed to be clicking on this. This one. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was. Oh man. Okay, that's what I was supposed to be selecting. So if we move this there, now I think it's in a reasonable position, right? Because like that's where she holds it. Although we're still having the situation. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was the knot position that's causing the arrow to be there. It's not the arrow position, it's the knot, I think. Yeah. Okay. So what did we say this was? Let's see. Let's move this back a little bit. Dude, what? Hello? Brother, come on. Are we just not gonna listen? Okay, there it is. Okay. Like that, I think. Yeah. And now we'll copy this. Okay. And that. Let's go to the arrow primitive. Let's go back here. Paste. Like that. Why is the Y changing so much? Interesting. Okay. That's fine. So like that. And then we said that the knot needs to be, where's the knot? I think if I click on this, yeah, there it is. Dude, stop. I think if this goes down 1, I think, then we can recalculate the position. And then I wonder if I can move the arrow point back up like that. I wonder if it'll allow me to do that. Let's see. Yeah, let's try that out. I mean, it doesn't need to be perfect, but you know, I want it to be like, you know, if you're gonna be seeing it over and over again, I want it to at least be like looking good enough. Okay, let's see how that looks. Okay, I mean, it's closer to what I had in mind. Is it good enough? I feel like it is good enough. Although, where is the knot? Let's see. That's not even the right one. Let's see, recurve. There you are. Where is it? Why do I have so many of these? Recurve bow collectible. Okay. Let's see where the knot is. String joint. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Arrow rest joint. Huh. Do I have it backwards? I think I might have it backwards. Wait, where does the arrow go? Is the arrow not supposed to go? I'm so confused. Is this thing inverted? Yo, low key, it might be inverted. Whoops. Okay, hopefully that's not going to bite me in the butt. But for some reason, the string joint is showing up here. Let me look up the, let me look at the pivot. Where is it? I think here? Nope. 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 There you are. There it is. Okay. I wonder if like, dude, stop breathing. God damn it. Oh my God. Okay. Hold on. Pause. Dude, I'm going to lose my mind. Oh crap. Okay. It's even worse when I zoom in. All right. It doesn't move. Okay. So let's try let's try moving it down once. Let's see. Dude, I don't even know where I'm at. There we go. Nope. There you are. Okay. Move it down once. Cool. Okay. We're going to go back here. We're going to calculate the knot position again. We're going to hit start. I wonder if I was supposed to store the initial bow position rotation. I think I was. Whoops. That is dumb. Let's try that again. Store the initial position. Okay. Hit play. Scene. Whatever, man. It's good enough. I don't care anymore. This is really frustrating. Okay. So it is what it is. I really don't have to be a perfectionist right now. Okay. There we go. All right. So you'll notice that I'm not drawing anything from behind me. And that's because I need to fix a situation. You know what? Let me undo some of the things that I just did, because I do recognize that I probably made things a little bit worse by doing all the modifications I just did. Yeah. Okay. We'll go there. We'll store that, save. And now what I need to do inside of my player, I created this component over here. So I noticed this issue, not under the event, sorry, the effects. I noticed this issue in the effects where the arrow in hand, originally at the time, what it was doing was it was storing an arrow prefab and was always drawing the arrow. So what I did is I created a script that would show the projectile that corresponded with whatever the projectile was in the what am I trying to say? Oh, sorry. With whatever it was that was actually in the player's hand, or on the player's equipped bow. So if I go to projectile in hand, you'll see that I have several of these things here. So the way we're going to add this is by dropping in the arrow primitive. So there you can see it. I'm going to reset its transform so that it's inside of its correct area or its correct position. And then, yeah. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, oh, it's not going to let me. So I need to unpack the prefab first. Prefab, unpack completely. And then we'll take this out and we'll put it there. And we'll delete this. And then up here, what I'll do is I'll add a new item and I'll say that for the arrow primitive, we will show this mesh and we'll hit save. And now if I hit play, hopefully this works. And I go and I equip this. And now when I aim and I fire, you'll see that she grabs the right projectile. Now I just need to correct something. So I am going to have to hit Control-Shift-P real quick. So I'm looking down on my keyboard. Okay, so we aim, we fire. Oh, hit it too fast. Control-Shift-P, Control-Shift-P. There it is. Okay. Okay, so now what I need to do is grab this. And where is it? So it's right there. What I need to do is move it into the correct position like that. Oh, that's literally perfect. Okay. And now I'm going to copy this, copy position. I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to go to projectile in hand. I'm going to go here and I'm going to paste this position there. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to go back to the scene. I'm going to hit save again. I'm going to press play, pick up the bow. We aim. This kind of looks weird. I don't know why the preview looks weird like that, but whatever. Okay, we fire. Hold on, let me pause. Okay, we fire. Control-Shift-P. Where are we at? There we are. Just Control-Shift-P a bunch of times. Okay, and there it is. So it's in the right position. Cool. And now we can fire, and all is good in the world. And I think, yep, is it staying there? It is. Cool. There's something wrong with the preview there. Not sure what that's about, but it's good enough. So now we can compare it to the other one, right? We aim, we fire. Cool. Yeah, the rotation's a little bit weird. I think that's a camera issue. I think it's based on how the camera's laid out. So we can grab the other bow and we can fire. And then if I grab the slingshot, nope, I said the slingshot. And you'll see that I also fixed the issue with the rock where if you see, when she fires, where is she? There she is. She hasn't grabbed it yet. I need to add a quiver at some point. Okay. Yeah, there's her hair lint. Okay, there it is. So she's about to load the rock, and you'll see that it's positioned in her hand correctly. Okay, cool. So that is my setup for the bow. I am going to delete the bows that I'm not using. So I'm going to delete this one right here, and I'm going to replace it with the one that I just created here. Hello, that's not what I wanted to do. Recurve bow collectible. Actually, let me create this first. We'll just drag that into our, no man. Come on. Okay. Dude, I'm going to lose my mind. Okay. There we go. Sorry. All right. So now we created our recurve bow. I'm just going to move this over here since it's one of the done weapons. I'm going to set these up on my own, but I just wanted to kind of show you how this looked while I was doing this. And now I think I can quickly move on to some of the melee weapons. Or let me commit first, actually. Okay. So the melee weapons are a lot faster, thankfully. So I'll show you real quick how to do that. So I'm going to grab I'm going to duplicate one of these axes, and we'll just bring this down to one of my melee weapons. Okay. So I want to create a melee weapon out of the rebar club. So I'm going to unpack this real quick, and we'll call this rebar club collectible. I don't know if I'm going to stick with these naming conventions, but it just helps me stay organized for now. Parent it to that, and then I'm gonna reset the transform so that's right on top of the axe. And this one's actually pretty simple, so we'll just unpack this, and essentially you'll see that the axe is really just a mesh, and really what matters is the colliders. So I can get rid of the collider that's on this. We'll just remove that completely. And I also want to orient it. So I think for the rebar club, the way I want to orient it is 90 degrees over the z-axis, like that. Or maybe actually we'll do negative 90 degrees. Negative 90. There we go. That looks a little bit better, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do that, and we'll say for the attack collider, what I'm going to do with the attack collider is maybe move it a bit. So this is going to be the collider that detects or that's going to like be used as the detection for when it runs into something to cause damage. So I think we can move this a little bit back, maybe. You want it to be ahead of you, because if it's behind you, even if something hits from behind, it'll consider it a collision. So the reason why I put it ahead of you is because you want whatever's in front of your swing to be the thing that gets detected as a as a thing that you hit, right? I think the size is fine, and I'm going to. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I could have I could have just done that. Oh well. Okay, that's fine. So I think the size is fine. Secondhand IK, I don't care about that. I can get rid of the axe mesh. And here, there's going to be a couple of colliders, like this one over here. This one, I wish there was an easier way to move colliders around. But so this is going to be the one that corresponds with the top. Honestly, I think the only reason this matters is because this determines the actual like physical space of the thing. So I wonder what happened if I just added oh god, okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna add a box collider to this, like so. And I'm gonna copy this, copy component, and I'm gonna paste it here. Paste component values like that. I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna remove this like that. Go back there. And then I think interesting. I think I can remove this like that. It's still a little bit too big for some reason. I don't know why I did that. Wait, did it? Oh my god, it flipped at 90 degrees. Okay. So if it flipped at 90 degrees, that means I think that means that the x-axis, oh god. Okay. Hold on. Let's do this. We will create a box collider like that. Yeah, so you see what it did? It literally, oh my god, that's annoying. Okay. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to rotate this like so. Oh my god, that also rotated the collide. Dude, are you kidding me right now? All right, that's so frustrating. Okay. So, oh my goodness. All right. So it looks like the Y and the X are what changed. Yeah. Okay. So I need the Ys and the X's to flip. So we'll take the Ys here and we'll move them to the X's there. That was the Y. This is the X. I'm going to put this in the Y position now. No, it's going to be in the Z position. Oh, wait, is it? Dude, are you kidding me right now? This is so stupid. Maybe it is in the Y position. I guess. Probably. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then the this one, the size, the X is supposed to be where the Y is. And then the Y is supposed to be where the X is. And there we go, kind of. Well, no, maybe not. Okay, it's too low. Something's wrong. So the center, this Y. Oh, what? Okay, maybe not that. I'm confused. Wait, that was the X. Oh, okay. The X is supposed to go where the Y is, like that, I think. Maybe. No, the Y was correct. What is wrong here? The X is wrong. The X is represented by the Y. Okay. The love of God. Okay, so now these are wrong. Dude, I don't know why I'm tripping. Is this supposed to be negative? No, it's not. What is this supposed to be based off of? Dude, why am I tripping so hard right now? This is supposed to be based off of the X. I don't think I'm okay. Am I okay? Maybe it's supposed to be positive? It's supposed to be positive. Okay. There we go. So now they're perfect. Dude, it's so stupid, man. Okay. There we go. I don't know why Unity does this. Like, it doesn't allow you to just like copy it. Okay, now we can remove it. Cool. So now we have the colliders that'll detect it. And basically, I think what I can do now, the attack collider looks a little bit off, kind of, but maybe it's not. The center is right. Yeah. No, it's fine. Okay. So now I think I can go ahead and try this out. We'll save and we'll hit play. So we come here, we can pick that up. And now we have a little melee weapon. So I can come here and you can see I can beat them up. There we go. Cool. So you see it does damage. It's too close. So I need to step back a little bit. So the reason why it's not registering damage here is because I'm way too close. I think if I come here and I say rebar club like that, oh look, it looks pretty good on the hip too. So if I go to rebar club and go to scene, yeah. So if I come here, bruh, are you okay? Whatever. All right, there we go. So if I change this attack collider and I make it a little bit bigger, so we'll give it like a huge, maybe not that big. There we go, like a huge Z-axis. Now, when I go back to the game, so you'll see I can get a lot closer and it'll still detect the damage, right? I don't know if I want to do it that way, but you know, yeah. I don't think I want to do it that way. I think I want to make it a little bit farther. That way the player kind of has to manage their distance and they can't just like bum rush the enemy. Cool. So that's the rebar. I think I can save this and I can move this into my weapons. And I am actually going to come here and create a folder. We'll just call this source. I'm going to move the axe, bow, pistol, rifle, rock. Yeah, I'm going to move all these into the source. That way I can tell which are the ones that I made and which are the ones that I'm using are. Oh, look, I already did one for the plank. So there's the plank one. Cool. So I can get rid of this one, I think. Yeah. All right, so I'll get rid of that one. And then for the plank one, I actually did want to do something a little bit different here where let me actually do this inside of the prefab itself. So what I wanted to do here, because the weapon is going to be kind of coming out like this, like it's going to be attacking in this direction, I want to duplicate the nails and rotate them a bit, maybe that way. So maybe we'll give them a Z rotation of like 90. No, we'll say 45 like that. And I'll make these have a rotation of negative 45. That way it kind of looks like a mace, I think. And so that way they're not kind of overlapping with one another. I think I'll move the, why isn't it showing them to me? Oh, there they are. I think let's make this the center and yeah, that's fine. Okay, so what I'll do, oh man, okay. Aw, no, they don't really look that good. You know what? I think what I can do actually is instead of doing 45 and negative 45, what I'll do is negative 45 or I'll do 45. Maybe I'll do 90. No, not 90. 135. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. 180. No. What's 45 plus 180? I cannot do math. There we go. I think those look a little bit better than they did before, right? Maybe, maybe not. I'm literally talking to myself. I don't know why I'm asking. We'll do it like this. There we go. Okay. So now that they at least look like they're offset and they're not like running into each other, I think. So that looks good. So we'll save that. And oh, you know what? I'll change the colliders a bit. So I'll make the collider the attack collider. Actually, no, the attack collider's fine. And I think this collider's fine too. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we can go back and let me get rid of the plank and add it back like so. So now we can actually use it. Come here, pick up the plank. Looks kind of gnarly. All right. And we can use it to beat things up. Cool. All right. Let me see how that looks with a bow. It looks kind of sick. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. So let's save that. And now I'm going to quickly do a gun. So I think the gun that I'm going to start with is going to be, I want to try out the nail guns because I think they'll be interesting. Or you know what? I'm going to try just a revolver because I don't want to deal with doing the projectiles for the nail gun right now on video because it's going to take me a while and this video is already huge. So we'll duplicate this, move it over here. I'm going to pull it down all the way to where the revolver is like that. And I'm going to say revolver collectible. I'm going to unpack this completely. I'm going to move this inside there. I'm going to focus on it. I'm going to unpack this completely like that. And then I'm going to reset the transform and I'm going to rotate it until it makes sense. Let me actually get rid of its collider. Okay. And then I'll rotate it until it makes sense. So maybe like that. And then like that. And then I'll move it around until it's sort of aligned. Cool. Let me move the whole thing because it's kind of getting in the way. Or not getting in the way, it's the other thing's in the way. Okay. So we'll move the revolver a bit until it's in a place that's sort of aligned with the other one. So we have the trigger. It's kind of I can't actually tell which trigger is which. Okay, so the orange one is the other one. Okay, this one is too high, maybe. Actually, this one, why is this one, why does it have a Y? God, okay, there we go. It has a Y offset for some reason. All right, I will not ask questions. Okay. I do need to move it a little bit. Ugh, too much. Let's divide my snap by 2 and then move it. Yeah, it's good enough, I think. Maybe I'll do another division by 2 and then we'll move it again. Fine, that's perfect. Okay, so, oh, no, it's not because the hand is going to be off. All right, we'll do a little middle ground there. Cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, all right, I actually have not done this one before. So this is going to be a learning experience. So the aim point, where's the aim point at? Interesting. So the aim point is going to be wherever the barrel is, like that. It's offset. Of course it is. You know what? I'm going to use the Y value from here because of reasons. And then we can move it in a little bit like there. Okay, so that's the aim point. Bullet, aim point, cool. Cool. General, damage, D projectiles, IK. I think everything's fine. Yeah, okay. Let's give it a try. We'll hide the pistol cowboy, and we'll put this on the item layer. Okay, keep screaming at me. Like that. Okay, let's give it a try. Cool. So let's look at the character. Where am I? Turn off gizmos. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it's good enough, right? Maybe. Let's see what it looks like when the revolver's there. Or sorry, not the revolver, when the pistol cowboy's there. Okay. Yeah, I think it works. Okay. Now let's see. I don't know why there was a bullet that went super high. Reload. I mean, it's working, I think. Okay. Well, there we go. So that's our revolver, although it does look a little bit weird in my hands, but that's okay. I'm not trying to be perfect here. Okay. So dude, honestly, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Let's go ahead and delete that. And we will make this a little bit bigger. And then we'll create this one like so. Cool. So that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. I kind of wanted to make these behave like revolvers too. Let's give it a try, see if it works. So we will grab another pistol collectible and move it over yonder like so. We'll bring this down to the revolver collectible. Wait, it's right next to it. We're going to grab one of these drills, like one of these nail guns, sorry, and we'll parent it to the pistol collectible. And we'll call this nail gun collectible. We'll unpack it, and we'll unpack this too. Okay, and then we'll reset it. Okay, then we said what, 90? What was this one? This one was -90, -90. Okay, we'll do the same thing here. -90, -90, like so. Okay. And now we'll move this until it's kind of like that, I guess. That's where the hand goes. Yeah, I guess so. Maybe we'll lower it like that a little bit. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'll move the aim point to here, like that. Cool. Actually, I'll move it up a little bit like that. And then for the, I think I need to change the colliders a bit. So we'll get rid of the colliders on the nail gun itself. And we'll put them onto here. Interesting. I guess something like, no, something like that maybe. Is that rotating it? No, it's just making it thicker. Okay, there we go. And then we'll make the other one, whoops, wrong one. Move the other one a bit, like so. Maybe move it not that way. Kind of right there is fine. Actually, I'll move it back a bit. Nope, that's the size. Dude, like that. Cool. And now what I'll do, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, wait, I have to delete this. So we'll go rid of that. Nail gun collectible, cool. Aim point there. Recoil. I don't know what the point of the recoil being there is. Muzzle flash. I think the muzzle flash should be right there, right? It should be like in front of it. Assuming there even is a need for one. I'll probably have to remove that. Okay, that's cool. And then we'll move this, we'll change this to item. Yes. Okay. Let's save and try it out. See what happens. It looks so cool. Oh my god. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. All right, and then we can reload it. Dude, that's nice. Okay. Cool. Let's hear the sounds. Perfect. Freaking love it. All right, so there we go. We have a bunch of weapons that we made. I'll go through and make like the rest of these. I think the buzzsaw is going to be interesting. I think the harpoons are going to be interesting. Yeah. So so I just wanted to show like the process of making all these different weapons. It'll take me a while to kind of get through the rest of them, but I'll probably do the rest of them on my own time, and then for the next one, I'll probably show the process of setting up some AI and testing out with AI. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Appreciate y'all for sticking around and watching, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.